Things that open demonic doorways in our life. And yes, some of these we've all done them. We're all guilty of it. But you'd be surprised how some of these things can really open up the darkness. Firstly, fighting and arguing. The enemy absolutely loves a row. And oftentimes he will get in between people, putting things in their heads and provoking things. Every time you fight and argue with somebody, you are opening a door to violence and rage. And where there is room for violence and rage, the enemy can get into your heart and start hardening your heart. Not to mention the things you can do to get yourself in trouble when you're in a violent and angry state. Secondly, moving on from that, insults. You would be surprised of the power of an insult, and actually you can curse someone's life by insulting them, calling them things like thick, stupid, idiot. Yeah, well, their soul can actually take that as an agreement. It can do all kinds of damage to that person, and it opens up a doorway for you too. In the Bible, it actually says that calling someone a name is similar to murder. Thirdly, sleeping around. As I've said multiple times, when you sleep with somebody, you create soul ties. So please do not be surprised if you start feeling off after having one night stands or messing with whoever. In fact, I think it's one of the most vulnerable spiritual acts human beings can do. When you open yourself up to just anyone, well, you're going to take on whatever they got to. Fourth, gossip. I've spoken about gossip a lot, and it's easy to do. I used to be a class A gossiper. But let me tell you something, when you're talking about someone behind their back, 1, you're cursing them. 2, God is watching you. And 3, 9 times out of 10, that person's going to find out. Especially if it's in like a group setting, there's always one person with an actual conscience that will go and tell that person what's going on. And then you are going to have to deal with the consequences of that. So it's just a big no-go. Gossip, slander damages their life, and it will eventually damage your life. 5th, snitching. Now, everyone watching this knows exactly the kind of snitching I'm talking about. So I don't want to see no comments about, oh, should I not go to the police? You know what I mean. Yes, when you've had a row with someone and you think it's okay to call social services out of spite. Or you've had a falling out with that guy you've been seeing and now you want to ring up the old Bill and tell him what he's been flogging. You know, that's why they say snitches get stitches, and it's not usually the human fault. When you break someone's trust, even if they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, it will absolutely come back onto you. Being a trustworthy person is absolutely at the top. When you snitch on somebody out of spite, yes, it's going to come back on you. And best believe if you're hiding anything, it's going to come up. There's a saying that if you point a finger at someone, 3 more are pointing back at you. Shh. 6, strange one, I know, being stingy. The more you hold on to what you have, the less of it you're gonna have. I think every possible spiritual practice knows this anyway. It's not saying give out everything you've got, by the way, but it's saying if you've got something and you can help someone, help them. Don't cling on too tightly to things, because obviously you're not going to get any more of that, and it starts to create obsession. Where it is given freely to you, give it freely. 7, cheating. Quite an obvious one, but when you cheat on somebody, oh, the damage you do, and vice versa, you will damage your own life in doing so. If you actively choose to get involved with someone who's married, the damage you are doing. I've seen this happen and unfold with people, and it is never pretty. And people, just saying, you lose them how you get them. But yes, cheating, breaking of the trust, all those kind of things, best believe that's coming back around. It opens doors to demons of deception. 8, I've said this a million times, jealousy. Jealousy drives most crime. If you feel jealous of someone or something, check yourself, because what's meant for you ain't landed on anyone else's doorstep. And when you engage in jealousy, you open the doors to spirits of envy. And let me tell you, spirits of envy are never satisfied. So yeah, you get the gist. I mean, a lot of these things can be day-to-day activities, and a lot of the time you're acting from a place of spite. Now let's be real. Learn to be better than what your flesh tells you to do. Absolutely do not take revenge. I know it's a hard one, but that's for God to do, because if you take revenge, your action could be worse than what the person did to you, and it cancels it all out. Put into practice on how to be a good person. Biblically speaking, it works. And it's hard to do because our flesh wants to do the opposite.